Ozpin starts turning Hazel and Emerald. Team Joyride gets sent into Monstro, and a certain former butler has returned. That and more on today's episode of BrobusCast RWBY Edition.
When you don't know where to turn to, and you're sure all hope is gone. When the day you waited for won't come, and dark won't yield to dawn. Just look, open up your eyes. Just look. The truth is there, but sometimes it's disguised. The ways of sin, but we're together, moving toward the light. When we trust in love and open up our eyes.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of BrobusCast. I'm your host RWBY. With me today is Aiden.
Hello and happy early Christmas.
By the time this video comes out, it'll be late Christmas. Anyways, we also have me.
Happy late Christmas. So sorry.
Intriguing stuff. Okay. I don't think he heard me. We also have Mate.
And here's hoping that everyone has a happy new year that's way better than 2020.
So true. Okay. We're here today to talk about Volume 8, Chapter 7, War.
What is a good foot? Had to be said.
It had to. Never had a problem with you.
What is it with these titles recently being only one word? Just very simple. Very simple. Also, one of these episodes is still not called Conquer. Okay.
Well, that's got to be the finale, right?
That's true.
It has to be.
I mean, given how this volume's going, I would not be surprised.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay. So, this episode's a doozy. Let's just jump right into it.
We have farmland.
Farmland.
We're back to Oscar's farm.
Yep. No, we're not, but that'd be great if we were. And then we have soldiers, a bunch of Atlas soldiers. How
I mean,
how they're able to fit this many models on screen in one area and not have their entire technology crash is completely beyond me, but I digress.
Also, I'm actively trying to look and see if I can find any just T-posing in the background. I cannot.
That'd be funny.
There's a new order from General Ironwood. He says to T-pose to intimidate the Grim.
Well, I mean, we take a page out of Crash to Insanity for that. If anyone doesn't know what I mean about the T-posing entropy, I'm sorry. Okay. Anyways, Monstro, he starts vomiting up more Grim. It is mad gross, and it is mad scary because there are more apathy spawning.
Oh,
Yay.
no.
Well, not just apathy, but more, well, multiple things.
Yeah.
There's also this one weird Grim. It's like in the very last frame before it cuts to black. And it has the same kind of horns that the Knuckleavi had. Or how do you say it? The
Knuckleavi.
Knuckleavi?
Yeah. It kind of has
Something like
similar
that.
horns. I don't think it's one of them, but like it just
I'm just looking at this like firing squad and all these Grim and soldiers and bullets flying
there's
everywhere.
even-
I'm like, how the heck did they do this?
There's even trenches, like on Hoth. Why
See,
is that
when
my first thought when I think of a war scene with trenches? God, I'm such a nerd.
I think it's probably because like the whole thing has like Star Wars vibes with the whole volume of Atlas. And last volume too, we literally had like a Luke Skywalker scene where like Oscar like jumped or got like shot off like a high place and nearly fell.
That's
before
true.
he was saved by his old man wizard mentor, like what happened in Empire Strike Back. So
Use the Force, Oscar.
By the way, before we move on, I'm noticing this now because I keep pausing to like notice any sort of like key details, but like there are a couple like just regular Atlas guards just walking around. Um, it is so weird. It's so impossible to see because it goes by so fast and there's so much happening on screen.
Well,
but
I mean, aren't those like the ones in charge?
I mean, maybe, but
And
they just
anyone who
look
thinks, oh, it's just weird, they're just standing around. If I may quote Doc from Red vs. Blue, leadership isn't about firing bullets and stabbing people. It's about telling other people to fire bullets and stab people.
Yep. So it just looks like some regular Atlas employees just wandering around during a firefight. But okay.
It's also just weird, like, how quickly all of this happened. Like, he got the entire Atlas military ready to fight in, like, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like Ironwood, given how he's been.
Yeah. For all we
True.
know, they were stationed out there, and we just didn't see them.
He had the entire military just waiting there just in case.
Yeah.
Oh, is it sad that now I want a deleted scene of, like, before all this happens, two of them are just standing around, like, hey, yeah? You ever wonder why we're here?
Anyway, speaking of Ironwood, though, he's here. He's like looking off in complete and total horror, as he should, because Atlas is pretty much doomed. And he just starts evacuating everybody to the subways because that's safe.
That's a fantastic
I mean,
idea.
I mean, it's safer than the surface.
Sure, but like they have like the entire air fleet over Atlas. Why don't they just load them up and then bail? Like, there's no way they're winning this firefight.
Yeah, but there's like hundreds of miles between Atlas and like the nearest place they could take people. Well, that would take ages to bring people constantly back and forth.
I mean, they could just have trains go to a specific station that's like out of the way, where they can have like some airships, like pick tons of people up like constantly and get people to safety that way.
True.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Although we say that, they do have Grim that can dig through the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Although that's probably safer than, well, out in the open anyway.
Well, sure, but like it's still not safe. Like you're still putting a bunch of people in one restricted area doomed to die. So like
Yeah. It's literally the thing with the crater and mantle as well. Like, you're putting all these panic people in one place. It's going to attract a bunch of Grim. Even though the
That's
Grim are
also
already
true.
here, but still.
Oh, and I think I saw some people make an edit that when I was says to get everyone to the Subway, they mean Subway the restaurant.
nice.
Just everybody, just have a sandwich. The Atlas
You'll be
military
fine.
will take care of it. I like Subway.
Yeah, it's
So
good.
do I.
What do you
Anyways,
guys usually get? I get a meatball marinara.
same.
Oh, that's a good one.
Well, anyways,
Yeah, off topic.
a certain Atlas airship flies by, and it's the Aesops and Team Joyride minus Oscar. And they've been restrained because, yep, that's always top priority when you're being invaded by an immortal witch lady. Yeah,
I'm kind of
okay,
surprised they let them restrain them.
right? And they just leave, like, because their top priority at that moment was Penny, and they just leave. Like, they, like, screw searching for Penny, arrest these three, and bail. Like, they failed.
I mean,
not
I
only
think-
not only did they fail the reason they're out there, but also they're focusing on something that's completely, like, guys, there are bigger things happening right now.
I think that's probably part of the reason why they bailed. It's like, all right, get the fugitives, go back and help deal with, you know, the apocalypse that's going on.
Right, but like, why not? Because like, sure they might be fugitives, but I'm pretty sure everyone there still knows like that these three want to help wherever they can, and that means taking down Salem. So why not just like begrudgingly work together so we can deal with the apocalypse? But no, just arrest them and
To be fair,
I
they
mean-
do end up doing that eventually.
sure,
we'll,
but like
we'll get to that.
sure, but like why wasn't that their first thought? Like, okay, you guys are still fugitives, but you are also huntsmen and huntresses. So,
Who we know can kick a lot of ass.
yeah. What I'm most surprised is that Winter allowed that to happen. And then she just calls Ironwood about it, and he's like, good job. Like, guys, again, there are bigger things happening right now.
People be stubborn, yo.
Time and place, I guess, just isn't a thing anymore. Anyways, they fly over to Monstro, and it is freaking huge. We never see like this thing like to scale with anything else. It's always been flying on its own. So we never get a good scale of how big this thing is. And now that we see this, it is massive.
Yeah.
Like gigantic.
Like even Jean's like, wow, that thing's huge.
Like if you take it into comparison with the buildings around it, like you really can tell how large it is.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, they know that that's where the Grim took Oscar, and Vine's like, well, they don't take prisoners, and Yang's like, well, this one did. And again, it goes back to what you were saying before, Aiden. Like, why did they just let them? Why did they just let them arrest them? Like that makes no sense.
Yeah. Maybe it was like, you know, we could waste time fighting the Aesops in Winter again, or we could just, you know, not cause a fuss and try and like convince them to let us help. I think that was probably what was going through their minds. I assume.
Oh,
could've-
maybe.
It could have been like they got on the ship, and then the restraints were put on them out of surprise.
Oh,
Could
that
be.
might also be the case. Yeah.
I mean, when you have someone whose semblance is to freeze people in place.
True.
True. I don't really get why they can't break out of these cuffs, though.
Aren't
Like-
they like sealed due to like gravity dust or something?
I'd
That's
assume so.
probably why. I'm more surprised that they like. I'm not surprised that they can't break out because I imagine those things are like made for really strong huntsmen and huntresses or like beastly fugitives. Like I imagine these things could probably hold Hazel if they really wanted to. But but what I'm more surprised by is that they just don't resist at all. Like Ren and Jean just like sit there and accept it.
By the way, can I just say thank you, Death Battle, for like ruining my ability to just accept stuff sometimes? Because like, when all of Team RWBY were put in these restraints, one thought that was in my head was like, well, I've seen Blake rip out of spider silk with her bare hands, and that stuff is like stronger than steel.
Yeah.
Or steel, essentially. So I don't know what this is made of, but damn, dude. Well, I was just thinking, wait, that doesn't make sense. Blake, why don't you just rip out of it? Like, it's probably stronger stuff, though, to be honest.
Yeah,
They'd have to be.
these
Like if it was
strong
just regular
handcuffs.
cuffs, they would have just burst out of it.
Yeah, they'd be really crappy handcuffs, so people could just be like, and snap. Anyway, Ironwood's science team is putting together a bomb. They're gonna ride it straight into the mouth of Monstro and detonate it. Yeah, and I like how Ironwood's like this thing isn't vulnerable on the outside, but it could, emphasis on could, be vulnerable on the inside.
Well, it's like, what else could you do, though? Like, let's be real. Like, what's the other solution aside from trying to blow it up from the inside?
Well, I know, but like,
I mean, there's always ask a silver-eyed girl for help.
Yeah, but
That might do something.
That would assume that these people have common sense and aren't incredibly stubborn to not arrest RWBY. So,
Very true.
Anyways, I'm just gonna make a prediction right now. That bomb's not gonna work. Maybe it'll take out Monstro, but I don't see it doing any more than that. Like we know, like obviously Salem's gonna survive it. She's immortal, but
Oh, and there's still a whole river of Grimus.
yeah, that's true. Plus, like if it does destroy Monstro, then it could probably take out like a chunk of Atlas as well.
Yeah.
To be honest, watch it do that, and that's like the best thing they have. Salem's still alive, and she still has a massive army of Grim.
Yeah, like well now you have no nuke and a chunk of your city is gone, and
Yeah, because
your
there's no
main
way they could
target is
like
still alive.
make a bomb that would only blow up Monstro without causing any like extra damage to the city.
Yeah. But anyways, as Team Joyride is quick to point out, and again, common sense is just not so common anymore. They're like, wait, but Oscar's in there. We could blow him up too. And everyone there is like, yeah, what of it? Except for Winter. Winter's having second thoughts, it seems.
But we'll have to cut back to that because now Salem, as she's just
Making random hand movements.
well set to classical music.
Yeah.
Is it weird that my first thought when watching this moment was just I picture Tyrion at a piano?
Oh,
and she's like doing this like little dance sort of thing, just like da 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 da. Something I don't know.
I would love
You
to
would
see
do that.
Tyrion just go wild on like a bunch of like bystanders and kill them when classical music plays, because it is the coolest thing when like something really messed up happens and you hear like classical music in the background. Like it's a really cool combination.
Well, sometimes just flat out messed up, like with Pyro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe in magic? Do, 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 do. As he's just murdering people and setting the whole place on fire.
Anyways, Emerald's spying on her, and then she's like, I don't like this, and leaves.
Well,
just
so
sneaking
Emerald
by
hates
Salem.
classical music. She's no longer a good character.
Yep.
Well, you say that, but things might turn around as she's making her way through the halls.
Yeah, and she uses she uses her illusion semblance on the weird floaty grim. I don't remember what they're called.
The Seers?
Yeah. So I guess not only can that semblance work on Grim, which I guess kind of makes sense, but it can also work on Grim who technically don't have eyes.
I didn't really think it'd work, because don't Grimm see people through emotions?
Yeah.
Like through fear and that stuff.
And aura, according to the books.
So, but I thought like Emerald Semblance could only affect like people's vision and what they see through their mind. I didn't know that could affect like someone's other senses.
Yeah, well, I guess so.
Maybe that's part of her improvement. Like she can make people like sense and smell different things as well, along with like seeing things.
Yeah, she did say she was working on it.
Yeah, so that
Yeah.
could be it.
Yeah, maybe.
Could she
I'm
make
kinda
me smell different things or even taste different things? Like, watch, I eat some broccoli and it tastes like ice cream because Emerald's using a semblance on it.
That would be the best way to get your kids to eat broccoli or vegetables if you were a parent. Just like
you know what? Like,
make them think it tastes like ice cream or chocolate or something like that.
okay, I don't actually ship Emerald with anyone at the moment, but this has kind of got me thinking, like, some, like, future where Emerald has a kid and that's what she does to get the kid to eat their vegetables.
Anyways, yeah. So she just walks by. Steer's like, yeah, okay. And she listens into Oscar being manhandled again because, as we've
He's
noted
also-
before,
He's also strung up and bleeding.
yeah, because as we've noted before, this kid just hasn't suffered enough apparently.
Yeah.
I mean, at the moment, it's Ozpin. Or
Oh,
yeah,
that's
but like
right.
Oscar is still gonna feel that. It's still his body. He's gonna feel the after effects.
True.
Yeah, once Oz like relinquishes control, Oscar's gonna come back and feel every single bit of it. Anyways, Oz starts asking like, why do you work for Salem? Do you ever wonder why she recruited you? And Hazel's like, well, it's simple. I hate you. Like, that's pretty much the long story short.
Yeah. Well, and he also has a vision for the world where there's like no kingdoms, no huntsman academies, and Salem shares that vision.
Yeah.
Or at
well,
least,
at least
he
that's
thinks she does.
yeah. I was about to say at least that's what he thinks. But Oz notes like if she gets all the relics, there's not going to be any world. Also, this confirms some speculation that I actually had. I don't know if I noted this before, but I always assumed that that Salem wanted to bring the relics together so that she could not only destroy the world, but also finally achieve release. Like the gods will finally kill her. And it turns out, yeah, that's pretty much the case.
I always kind of thought it was like a win-win situation. Like, she brings back the gods and somehow she's able to kill them and then gets her revenge. Or she dies in the process and, wins anyway by dying.
Well, it's it's a win-win either way, so I guess that
Yeah.
works.
That's what I
So,
always...
thing is, though, has she ever considered, like, what happens if the world gets destroyed, but she's still alive? She'd just be floating through space,
Oh, that would
No.
be the worst punishment.
not being able to do not even being able to breathe, and just, like, floating, just nothing.
Oh, she'll be like Cars.
Oh, that would be...
Oh my
that would be...
gosh.
Oh, I'd hate that if that were me. That would be awful.
That's how you stop Salem. Just launch her into orbit where she can't breathe, and she gets frozen. Like this is literally Cars from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
I was thinking the Power Rangers reboot movie where they backhand Rita into space.
Oh, yes, I love
Oh,
that
yeah.
scene.
Anyways, when Oz notes this, Hazel's like, "Are you serious? Have you gone mental? She can't be killed. Believe me, I've tried."
Multiple times, apparently.
Yeah, this is interesting. So Hazel's actually killed Salem over and over again, and she kept coming back. Hazel notes that the longest she was gone was only a few hours. So I could see this viewed in two different ways. Either A, Salem's durability isn't like her physical durability isn't all that great. She just survives because she's immortal. Or option B, Hazel's really just that freaking strong.
Maybe option A, because she has a body that isn't affected by aura, because magic was pre-aura.
Oh, that's right.
Also, it could just be like she didn't even try resisting; it's just let it happen.
Yeah. I think that's probably more likely, because it would be a bit absurd if Hazel was like prime Ozma and Salem level.
Mm.
Yeah, and then like imagine that, like imagine the scaling that would come from that. Like, maybe not
Hazel
now
just
because
does, like city level feats because of that.
yeah, like maybe not now because we don't really have any solid estimate on how tough Salem is, like without her regeneration.
I think
But-
the best she's got is surviving that castle explosion when she had that fight with Ozma.
No, she regenerated from that. She was turned to ash, I think, and she came back from that. So, well, Ozma survived it, but
And then he immediately died.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
got crippled by it, so it wasn't. He didn't really take it that well.
yeah.
Also, thinking about this now just makes me think, yeah, if Salem were in Death Battle, she could still lose even with the
Yeah,
Immortality.
because yeah, they could like maybe they won't be able to kill her, but or at least like get
like
rid of her
not
permanently.
for good, but just
um,
kill her once and then boom, that's it.
Yeah,
like- Her opponent, most likely, I want to say Zereth from Fairy Tail.
yeah, that's the one I keep hearing.
Oh, that'd be a really good fight.
I don't know a whole lot about Fairy Tail characters, so I can't really say who wins that.
I
Yeah, I
think Zereth, because Fairy Tail has like continental stuff from what I've heard.
Oh, then yeah, he wins.
I mean, for now at least.
Well,
yeah, for now at
but,
least. We don't know what's gonna happen in the future.
That's true.
Well,
Watch,
I wonder
Salem,
why-
watch, Salem will snap her fingers and blow up the moon.
Blows up the other half of the moon. Though I wonder why Hazel never tried like separating Salem's body parts. Like if he was ripping her in half, why didn't he try like moving one half of her like really far away?
Maybe it was like the Deadpool 2 thing and she had baby legs for a while.
Oh my god.
Either
Oh
that
god,
or
that scene.
well, either that or like he didn't like because he notes that he eventually tired out. Like he couldn't lift his hands anymore. So maybe he just didn't think about that before getting tuckered out. Anyways, so they continue their conversation, and Oz notes that he deserves what's happening. So yay, self detriment for the win. Yay.
I don't really think he deserves it.
No, he doesn't, but he sure thinks he does. But he knows that Oscar doesn't.
I can't blame him for thinking that, though, to be honest.
No, I can't either. But he does know, like, yeah, I deserve it. But does Oscar? Does Atlas? Does Remnant? Because like Oz does have a point. Like, if Hazel did manage to finally get his revenge, what then? Like, what has Hazel got anymore?
Yeah, because, like, we know it takes a long time, usually, for, like, Ozpin to reincarnate.
Mhm.
Like, Oscar's, like, the quickest case of him ever coming back.
Yeah,
So what
because
is
Oz was
Hazel
desperate.
just gonna do? Like, wait around in the whale until he finds the new Ozpin reincarnation and go after him?
Yeah. Anyways, we will come back to this later. Right now, we're with Weiss and Nora.
And Weiss is changing Nora's bandages.
Yeah, and Nora speaks after how many? Like after like 4 episodes. She's been out for a while. But I mean, at least she's awake, kind of. She doesn't say anything immediately after, but
It could just be like she's having some sort of fever dream, like Crow did in Volume 4.
oh,
Could be.
maybe. Yeah.
Like
can
when he
also-
was
Okay.
poisoned and saying, "Tai, she's not coming back."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember that scene.
Yeah.
We can also see in this shot that the scars on Nora go up to about her ears, I think.
Well, I need to see. Oh, yeah, they do. Well, that's a problem.
I still really hope that next time she uses a semblance, those glow.
Oh,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
Oh, you know what? People have mentioned it'd be like full cowling for Deku.
Oh yeah. That'd be cool. I do hope like as painful as these things look, and I do think these are gonna have like some lasting effect on her. Whether it be for the
which
rest of
helps me think Nora ain't dying this volume.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean she's gonna be like, she's gonna walk around and be like, yeah, I'm okay. I have scars all over my body, but yeah, I'm fine.
I got
To be
these
fair,
cool
though-
scars.
To be fair though, knowing Nora, I imagine when she looks herself in the mirror next time, sees all of them, she's gonna go, I look awesome!
Well, I mean, like, I can't imagine that, like, this has to have some effect on Nora, either physically or mentally or both.
Probably both.
Like we mentioned when she
Totally.
got them, like these things have a possibility of brain damage. Like I don't know, maybe something like that. I don't think they're gonna kill her. That seems a bit.
I mean, as long as they don't go down the amnesia route.
Yeah.
Like, if they
Um,
were going to kill Nora, I think it would have been better having a lightning killer, like in episode 3, rather than her just, like, dying in her bed or something
I
like
don't
that.
know about that.
Well, at the
I
very
don't
least,
know how it
if
would
she-
have felt if Nora died there.
No, like,
Well,
I don't think it would have been right for her to die there, but I'd rather her go out in a cool way than her just, like, being benched and dying, like this, like, in her bed.
I think if this were to kill her, they would have done this much later. Like I don't know, maybe she'd still like at the moment she'd still be walking around. But I think like I don't know, maybe like gaps in memory, like what Wash had in Red versus Blue. Maybe that could be something interesting.
I mean, I would prefer that.
Oh, over Amnesia, yeah. Like Amnesia
Yeah.
is just way too freaking cliche. It's like something weird happens to someone's brain. Hollywood Amnesia. No, that's dumb.
If they did do that, I would have to do the EastEnders theme at the end of it,
Yes!
just as per stake.
Nora's lost all of her memories.
Do, 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 do.
I know you've
Um,
never seen EastEnders or really know what it is, BrobusCast, but that fits so
I've
well,
heard of
you have
it.
no idea.
I've heard of it, but yeah, I don't. I have absolutely no idea what you guys are talking about.
There is actually a show, I won't say what it is, that I know of that did go down the amnesia route, and all I gotta say is, ugh.
Live action or animated? Okay.
That's the only clue I'll give as to what it is. I'll tell you guys when we're done.
Okay, I was just gonna say I'm gonna be guessing that for weeks. That's gonna bother me.
Anyways, Weiss notes like Nora needs a doctor, and yeah, she does. She can't just be sitting here bandaged up forever. Like,
Yeah.
um,
And Blake's all, hopefully May will be able to reach the others, and she really hopes they're okay as she walks up to the window.
yeah.
Okay, Blake, you say the others. You know what? I was going someplace with that. I'm not sure if I should.
Okay.
Do it.
Alright, you know what? Screw it. Blake wants her emotional support yang bag. Like, she went from... Like, so far this volume, Blake's been making jokes, and now she's just really worried.
Yeah. She notes like Alice won't stand a chance unless we stop the giant monster. And Ruby's like, well, we could do something, but that thing's freaking big.
Bigger than a Leviathan.
Yeah. Which I mean, we did say earlier, like maybe Ruby Silver Eyes could like do something, but that they barely held back the Leviathan. Like,
To be fair, though, it could do something.
Would
well,
at least
sure,
help
but-
with the other Grim.
yeah, sure.
Because
But
I wonder,
I-
could the Silver Eyes destroy the Grim pool?
Potentially.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because isn't the Grim pool just like liquid Grim? So I assume the Silver Eyes could destroy it or like freeze it.
Maybe. I mean, there's that, but there's still a giant grim whale outside.
True.
Anyways, Weiss also notes like, well, Penny did manage to get our message out thanks to her being on Amity. So do we just wait for someone, assuming someone's gonna come?
Also, I don't know if any of you noticed this, but the scene after with RWBY, where she's like looking into the teacup, does that remind you of anything?
No.
That is basically a shot-for-shot
Oh.
recreation of that scene with Salem in the flashback.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Oh. Okay. I didn't get that memo, but okay.
Parallels.
Good catch, Aiden.
Yeah.
Have a cookie.
My brain is gigantic.
So yeah, I do think, like, on one hand I do think we are gonna get some help. If not from like Glinda or everyone else that reached out to, then at the very least we're gonna get Fauna's help from Menagerie, because we saw Gira calling Ilya. That can't have just been to say hi. Like, oh.
The thing is, though, with how far away they've got to be, I don't think they're going to make it in time.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we
maybe
know
not,
Volume 8 takes place over 48 hours, did they say?
Yeah, and
Something like
considering
that.
how long it took the main cast to get to Atlas from Mistral.
It took them one whole season. That's your new time frame. Just one whole season.
End of Volume 9's when everyone's gonna show up.
To be fair, wasn't it only like a few days or something? Like, granted, this
Yeah,
is
but that
over
was
2 days.
Argus to Atlas.
Yeah.
True.
Although I guess you could have a scene where, I don't know, maybe the Faunas have like a bunch of airships, and it's like the end of Age of Ultron.
True.
That'd
Like
be
all the
cool.
good guys are, fighting off the Grim. It's really epic, and like they come in with the cavalry, be like, "Yeah, we'll save everyone before Atlas falls."
Yeah. That's true. We could
And
get
you
something
know
like
what?
that.
With
but,
Penny glowing red when she's hacked, boom! This is the Age of Ultron season. I cracked the code.
Oh.
How
Anyways.
to you, Rooster Teeth?
Anyways, so while I do think we're gonna get some form of help, I do agree that, like, maybe just sitting around and waiting for it isn't a good idea.
Nah.
Yeah, because eventually they're gonna get to the Schnee Manor if the Grimm are just allowed to like run around.
Yeah. Anyways, May comes in and she notes that, like, the others haven't been heard of in a long time, haven't been heard from in a while. And she's like, well, with that out of the way, how about we take an airship and leave? And
Which the rest aren't up for doing because they can't leave Nora alone.
yeah. And also,
So
like,
May brings up that, it's chaos at the crater, people are dying. Which, oh yeah. Like, we haven't even seen the crater since this Grim attack started.
that's true, we haven't.
I hope Hans Simmons is okay.
As
Yeah.
long as he's okay, that's all I really care about.
There we go. There's his full name. First name Hans, last name Simmons.
There you go. There's your.
He's both Uncle Simmons and Hans Moman.
As long as
There's-
Hans, Fiona, and Crimson are okay, that's all I care about.
What about Joanna?
Okay, Joanna too.
Still need to know who Crimson is, but yeah.
Look, Crimson just has a cool name, alright? He has to have
Okay,
a cool
yeah.
design. That's how it works.
Or she, you don't know.
Well, it was a guy's voice.
Oh yeah.
And it was a guy who's listed as the voice actor.
True.
See, I pay attention to the extra details.
Could be
Yeah,
trans.
fair enough.
I suppose. Or
Oh, speaking
non-binary or
of.
whatever. Yeah. We get full confirmation. We had confirmation on this before, but it's nice to see it said in the show. May's trans.
Yeah. And, man, there's some backstory here, too.
Yeah.
Weiss brings up, oh, don't you have family in Atlas? And she's all, yeah. Here's the thing. Mantle needed me, and to the Marigolds, that meant I wasn't their son anymore.
Yeah.
and I made sure that everyone knew I wasn't their daughter.
Really loved the performance of that line specifically.
Yeah.
Hats off to you, Caden,
Indeed.
who, by the way, is also trans.
Yes. I think that was intentional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the exact same way that May is, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think they made trans. I think they made May trans for that reason. Like,
I'm glad we're also
the voice
openly
actor.
talking about it, because it was mentioned last volume that May was the first trans character in RWBY, but you couldn't really tell that unless you looked at outside media. But now
Yeah.
we have a clear, specific May is a trans character, like out in the open, and we're addressing it, which I think is a really good step forward.
Yeah. On a lesser note, another thing that was confirmed in outside media but is now confirmed in the show. Yeah, that one dude from the party in Volume 4, who tried to hit on
they're
Weiss.
related.
Yeah, they're related. I guess that's good to know. Kind of random, but yes, it's good to know.
Yeah, and now we've got May yelling at Weiss, like, whose side are you even on? And Blake's all, oh yeah, we've heard that before.
Yeah, because there are no sides. It's about stopping the Grim and protecting the people, and by like separating everyone into either on Atlas's side or on Mantle's side, they're all just screwing themselves over.
Yeah, like
so-
this is really like this is kind of like the big weakness to like the main leaders involved. Like for Mantle, it's like May, Joanna, that kind of stuff, and for Atlas, it's obviously Ironwood and the Aesops. The whole thing of like, whose side are you on? Like, I'm on
Hey.
Remnant's side. Screw Atlas versus Mantle. I'm more
Just-
concerned about Remnant versus Salem.
I just noticed a super tiny detail.
Was that?
Well, when it cuts to Ruby making a speech, out together is the only way we're going to get out of this, and it shows Blake's back, I just noticed, like, one of the pouches on her hip has a zip on it.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's to the right of the one that looks like a deck box.
Huh.
What is
How
it
many
with this?
zips do you need, Gol?
I was about to say, like, what is it with this outfit and all of the zippers?
I mean, Weiss has a lot of belts, and so did Ruby, so...
I mean, yeah, but like, Blake has zippers on her sleeves.
Yeah, I don't understand what the obsession
What?
with belts and zippers are.
Hey,
over
my
the
jacket
past-
has zips on the sleeves.
That does.
Well, yeah, but like, there's so many unnecessary zippers and belts everywhere.
Welcome to anime.
I mean, yeah,
Okay,
and I'm not like trying to sound negative towards this design. I love her design, but it just seems kind of impractical to have all these sleeves or all these zippers. I mean,
I know, and I'm just saying welcome to anime as a joke.
yeah. I mean, she does also
You've
have
seen the crazy designs anime pro tags have.
I mean, she also does have zippers on her legs, but I guess that's just because it's a cat suit.
Yeah.
Anyways, Whitley's listening in. That's foreshadowing to the next level. And we're back with Oscar or Ozpin, as the case may be.
Yeah, and he's just finished telling Hazel the backstory we got in Volume 6.
Yeah, I do want to say I'm very glad we didn't get all of it. Some complaints I've heard about this show, I'm indifferent to whether or not I agree with them, but I'm just going to point them out, is some repeated history lessons. Like in Volume 4, Crow tells the history of the gods and how humanity came to be, and then in Volume 6 we get that famous flashback scene. Like a lot of that info we kind of already knew.
I mean, not really, though, because the backstory that Crow gave was completely different.
I guess.
Also, did we ever learn about the gods like in the actual show before Crow explained it, or was
No.
that in?
No.
Yeah, that was a World of Remnant, wasn't it? The thing about the gods.
No, it was in the actual show.
Okay, it was in the actual show before Crow explained it to us.
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, he sat them all around a campfire, told them, hey, so there were these two gods that created everything. But he didn't know, like, a whole bunch of other stuff that we got in Volume 6.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm indifferent to whether or not I agree with that complaint or not. But
Yeah. I mean, I have seen people complain, why didn't we get to see, like, this person's reaction as they're being told that story? Because we already know it.
yeah, and we don't need like even if we don't know it, we don't need it either.
Yeah, like we don't need Hazel gasping in surprise every time Ozpin like speaks a sentence about his backstory.
Yeah. Speaking of Hazel, though, he doesn't believe a single word of it. So, yay, he just explained all of that for nothing. Anyways, and then Oscar regains control.
Yeah.
Eh,
Oscar retakes control for, I gotta say, a very, very bold plan.
yeah.
500 IQ plays by Oscar Pine.
Just gotta wait and see if it actually works. Anyways, Oscar gives Hazel the password for the lamp.
Yeah, just flat out says it.
Yeah. And also says that he was lying about the lamp being out of questions. She can answer one more. And Hazel's like, "Are you serious? You're just giving her the password now?"
And he is all, no, stupid. I'm giving you the password.
I still think it's a bit weird that like Hazel is torturing Oscar for information about the lamp, and he gives him information about the lamp, and he's like, "How dare you give me information?"
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah. Hazel, you're not very smart.
Yeah, like, how dare you do what I told you to do?
Also, man, Oscar, I guess, is just really tied to that hook, because when Hazel lifts him up, the hook goes with him. I was expecting, like, him to just lift Oscar off that thing, but I guess not.
The hook's his new weapon.
Yeah. Anyways, Oscar's hoping that giving Hazel the password will help him see the truth. Maybe Hazel will ask the same thing that they asked before. Dude, imagine if he does manage to sneak past Salem and learn her history and use up that last question, and then Salem finds out about it. Like, oof, that I can't imagine that'll go very well.
Nah. Because then Salem loses one of her strongest guys, and she can't use the lamp anymore. So it really is a good play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's assuming Hazel does do it.
Yeah, it's very possible. Hazel will just go to Salem and be like, "By the way, he gave the password for the lamp."
So could you imagine that's how the next episode opens up?
But Hazel wasn't the only one who found out the password.
Nope, Emerald found out too. Oh, dude, Emerald's gonna use it. I'm calling it now.
What if she asks, does Cinder actually care about me?
Oh.
Anyways, and
I mean, the answer's no, but still.
well, yeah.
Could you just imagine if like Jin looks Emerald in the eye and is like, "No, is obvious. She doesn't care about you. You really wasted your question on that."
Or what if she just says, "You know what? I'm not even gonna dignify that because that question is stupid," and just like, like you seen that Asta movie clip?
Yeah.
Where some nerd like rubs a lamp and is like, "I wish people would be nice to me." And the genie's like, your wish is stupid.
Anyways, Emerald's really bad at keeping secrets because she tells the entire thing to Mercury. And Mercury's like,
Who
yep,
is packing?
yeah, he's packing.
I
He's
kind
go.
of because it goes along with the joke that's like anime characters have like multiples of the same outfit, and he's
Yeah.
like packing like 3 different versions of his outfit while Emerald's talking to him.
Could you imagine if when we see him again, he's in a different design?
Well, that'd be upsetting. Anyways,
It'd be funny though.
Anyways, Mercury's reaction is literally just, yeah, okay.
He also apparently has a nickname for Emerald. Did he ever use that before, or
Because
because he calls her M?
I believe he has used that before. The very least I've heard. At the very least, I'm pretty sure I have heard that before. At least someone has nicknamed her M.
it might have been RWBY. Because they had that scene together in the first episode of Volume 3.
Oh.
Oh, it was Yang.
So- Oh yeah, Yang.
Oh.
You know, Mercury just stole
right.
Yang's nickname for Emerald and has started calling her it.
That bastard!
He stole her win and now he's stealing her nicknames.
Yeah.
Next time he sees Ruby, he's just gonna call her Rubes.
Anyways, he's going to Vacuo. And because that's what Salem told him to do.
But as it turns out, not just him.
No, we'll get to that. But anyways, he points out that like even if Oscar was telling the truth, which we know he is, but details. He notes like, well, even if what he said is true, like she can't be stopped.
And she's not
So-
going to end the world.
Yeah.
Which I think is fair, because like from his perspective, it's like someone stronger than me couldn't do it. I'm in her good graces, might as well go along with it. Like it's not
Yeah.
like morally correct, but like I can understand the logic.
Yeah. And yeah, Merc's like, well, what are you talking about? Salem's not going to destroy the world. And then Tyrion shows up, and it's like, are you stupid? Of course she is.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, didn't we say in a podcast at one point that like we thought Tyrion knew about that and he just didn't care? Or am I thinking somewhere else?
Did we?
No, I'm thinking of a couple guys who do RWBY reactions.
Well,
Oh, okay.
Congratulations, those guys. You were correct.
Yes.
Actually, the one who said it wasn't a big fan of that idea, so oof.
Oops. Well,
Why
you
wasn't he a
still
big
called
fan?
it. So.
Of that idea.
I don't know, it's been a while since I've found that video. I'll have to go back through them and check.
Well, he still called it, so I still consider that a win for him.
By the way, the channel in question is Nightshade.
Oh, okay.
I'd recommend watching their death battle reactions because they do slap bets. And I'm not gonna lie, when one gets one wrong, it's kind of funny.
Anyways, Tyrion's going with them to Vacuo, and Merc is now like in complete distraught, like, oh shoot, what do I do?
Looks so uncomfortable the entire time.
I mean, wouldn't you?
Yeah, true, but like he's like, "Come on, Mr. Black," and then escorting him, and then Mercury just looks so uncomfortable. It's hilarious.
I feel bad for Mercury.
Oh, so do I. But like, it's funny at the same time.
Like he has to take a plane ride with Tyrion alone.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Although, what's interesting to note, Tyrion can fly airships. Cool. I guess everyone in this world can fly airships now.
Yeah.
Anyways, they leave for Vacuo. Mercury does give a little nod to Emerald before he goes. What that will entail, I have no idea, but some sort of camaraderie between the two.
Also, I know we kind of skimmed over this, but what do you think about Tyrion knowing Salem's like actual motives.
I think it makes sense, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, with how bonkers Tyrion is, like... Yeah, I thought if he found out, he'd go along with it.
Yeah, plus he's like always been such a suck up to Salem. So yeah, I'm not surprised.
I mean, the way she pets him, too.
Yeah. Salem just says a thing and Tyrion's like, "Yep, I agree."
Tyrion
Although now
definitely
we're not
gets
going
up.
to get to see the Hound and Tyrion interact.
Oh yeah.
Aww.
Oh well.
We won't
I
get to
wanted-
see- we won't get to see Tyrion be all, hey, you stay away from our goddess. She's mine.
Yeah, we don't get the petty anime love square between, no, it's triangle between them.
Anyways, they leave. I assume that's the last we're gonna see of
I
them
said
this
it
volume.
while you guys were talking about something, but I'm just going to throw it out there again. Tyrion, massive sub.
Really, he is.
He is, though! Let's
He
be
is.
real.
I agree. He is a massive sub.
Anyways, they leave, and I assume that's the last we're gonna see of them this volume.
Yeah.
Kind of disappointed that that's the last we're gonna see of Mercury, to be honest.
Meh.
But
I wasn't expecting
I
Merc to
understand
have.
it. Oh, sorry.
I honestly wasn't expecting Merc to have like a gigantic role in this volume, so I'm not too surprised.
Yeah,
I mean,
no-
I guess it's just I feel like it was a bit weird to bring him in, give him a new design, and then like halfway through the volume, just like send him off to Vacuo.
I guess.
Well, he's probably going to have a bigger role in Vacuo.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that now. But yes,
There you go, then.
yeah, that cheered me up.
This also means that Tyrion survives much longer and still has a point in the show that I don't understand.
He kills people really
like,
good, and now he's got a partner that also kills people really good.
Here's something I thought about, though. Like, there's a lot of people that were at the Fall of Beacon in Vacuo.
Yeah,
They're going to recognize Mercury.
Yep.
and also
Um,
Tyrion's like a wanted man as well.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know where exactly he's wanted.
Okay,
Well,
yeah,
wasn't
that's fair.
Wasn't he first picked up in Mistral? I think I heard that somewhere. Like, he was first wanted in Mistral. He came to Atlas or something like that. I don't know. Anyways,
So who knows?
yeah. Like, okay. On to further explain my remark earlier about Tyrion. Like, don't get me wrong. I think Tyrion's a good villain and all, but every time a new volume comes up and he's playing a role in it, I keep thinking like, what could they do with Tyrion anymore? Like, and then in volume 7 he kills Glover, but still,
Oh, I have something I want to say about that in a later bit.
but I just keep thinking like, he's gonna get written out eventually. Like, he's not gonna stay around forever. And he sure as heck isn't gonna get redeemed.
Oh, hell no. Like, okay.
But
If anyone's actually rooting for, like, a Tyrion turning good thing,
why?
that's never happening.
Oh god, I kind of want to see
Sorry if it sounds harsh.
because
but-
it'd be so bad, it'd be good.
No.
Like so bad, it's funny.
Meh.
Although, hey, give that idea to Masako X. Maybe he could think of something.
What if Tyrion turned? You know, you should do that as a what if for your channel. What if
Oh,
Tyrion?
hell no!
Don't do it as like an April Fool's thing.
Anyways, so no, I just keep thinking like, well, maybe this is the volume where he, where like his time has come, and especially after everything he's done to Crow, I'm just like, at some point, please,
So just every volume, you're like, please let Tyrion die. Please let Tyrion die.
Oh god, was that me before Volume 6?
yes,
Huh. Wow.
so I think we found our Adam for this podcast. It's
Well,
Tyrion.
there you go then.
There you go.
Though I gotta say, much like Adam, I have to give mad props to the voice actor, in this case, Josh.
Yeah.
Like, I say it so many times when talking about Tyrion, but he sounds like he has way too much fun in this role.
Oh, he for sure does. Anyways, so before we move on, I want to ask, what do you think is the Okay, obviously we're not gonna see these two again until we get to Vacuo, but what do you think is the overall end game for Mercury? Because I think Tyrion's obvious. He's gonna continue to kill. He's gonna continue to be a psychopath, and then eventually he's going to die.
Oh yeah.
But what about Mercury? Because it seems like this moment has like a bit of a realization moment for Mercury.
I mean, okay, I could see it leading to like a maybe, like him turning good, sort of thing later on. Like, okay, this is kind of going into the speculation side of things for after this episode, but
Yeah.
with everything that Emerald's doing, I could see her like turning good, joining up with Team RWBY, maybe even saying like, oh, by the way, Mercury and Tyrion are heading to Vacuo, and that's Salem's next target.
Yeah.
So, using that info, they head to Vacuo, they meet up with everyone else, like, say, okay, these are who we gotta look for, and maybe Emerald wants to not kill Mercury, but, like, try and persuade him to join the good side.
Maybe.
Yeah. Like the optimist in me thinks that Mercury's gonna get redeemed and then he's gonna have cool moments on the good guy's side. But the pessimist in me thinks that they're gonna go to Vacuo, maybe with Emerald if she turns this volume or volume 9, and then they're gonna fight Tyrion and Mercury, and then Tyrion's gonna try and kill Emerald, and then Mercury's gonna sacrifice himself to save Emerald.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Either of them is possible.
I'd rather Mercury live because I really like Mercury, but
Yeah.
but the pessimist in me doesn't think he's gonna like live long enough to truly join up with the good guys.
I think what could be a thing, this is like just a random thought. I don't think this will happen, but I think it could be interesting. Is Mercury kind of goes off on his own. He stops working for Salem, but he doesn't really join Team RWBY. He just kind of becomes like a lone wolf, basically.
I think that would be interesting.
Because I think like obviously he's having second thoughts about working for Salem since she wants to destroy the world, but I also don't think he's. I also think he's too horrible of a person to want to work with the heroes. Like don't get me wrong, I think Tyrion's a fine enough villain. I think he's a neat villain and all, but he is a horrible person.
Yeah.
Just like Adam.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, like, in the grand scheme of things, I think Tyrion is way worse.
Probably,
Well, yeah, because
yeah.
at least Tyrion was never claiming the moral high ground.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's possible. But
That could
So-
be cool, like a RWBY like anti-hero Suicide Squad like team with like Mercury, maybe like Emerald and Neo.
yeah, maybe.
You know what? I've said this to a few people. I want Neo to turn good just out of spite. like they join up with RWBY and everyone, and they ask the Emerald, "Why'd you turn good?" And she's like given all this reasoning, and it actually seems like a bit emotional for her. And they take her in, maybe give her a hug, and accept her as like a part of the team. They ask Neo. She holds up a sign that just says "because spite." And they're just like, we'll take it.
Win's a win.
Yeah. Anyways, cutting back to Aesop's and Team Joyride, Yang continues to note that, like, hey, maybe don't nuke our friend. Maybe don't nuke our friend / Ozpin.
Yeah, and she even brings up, like, oh, wait, no, I'm jumping ahead, sorry. But yeah, she's persuading them to not do it. And Jean has an interesting idea.
Okay, first off, before we get into this idea, I just want to give more props to Jean because he's like every single time we get these like big arguments like this, he's the one that comes up with like he's the one that has the most sense, I guess.
Yeah, Jean using that mother effing brain.
Yeah,
Brain power.
I say sense because like in the first episode, like out of everyone there, he was the one that was like, okay, how about I use my head for a second? Like there were a couple people that were like, we need to save Atlas. And there were other people that were like, we need to save Mantle. And then there was Penny who was like, how about we kill everybody? And then there's Jean who's like, hold on. Crazy idea. Let's do both.
Aside
okay.
from the killing people plan.
Well, yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, the way you said, like, let me use my head, that just gave me a funny image. Like, okay, so, yeah, I'm jumping ahead a bit, but they're gonna be inside the whale and we're not looking for Oscar.
Yeah.
And at some point, like, I don't know, Jean asks, so how are we gonna get him out of there? And then Yang's will use your head. And then just goes to, like, Yang and Ren just, like, holding John, like, on his back, just, like, charging forward, and he's just screaming, but I don't want to use my head! They just, like, break the door down.
Anyways, yes, Jean's plan is to basically be...
By the way, if people in the audience don't get that reference,
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, Jean basically, like, his plan is to basically, how about we be your scouts? See what's up, see if this plan will actually, work. Save Oscar. And yeah, we'll come back out, we'll have our friend, and you can nuke the whale.
And the Aesop's on board with that idea.
No, of course not, because they're fugitives, and Aesops, as it turns out, as I've noted before in the last episode, are kind of idiots. Like, I still question, like, Harriet especially, like, I still question, why are they Aesops? Like, yeah, they're skilled, they're very skilled fighters, and I imagine that's why, but, like, they're not very smart.
I mean, they do kind of mention, like, sacrificing Euphry in an attempt to save one person is a bit weird, which I can sort of understand, but, like, at the same time,
Isn't that also kind of hypocritical because they're still fugitives?
Well, yeah, but just because they're fugitives doesn't mean you send them on a suicide mission.
I guess.
Yeah, although Yang brings up, like, wouldn't you do it for each other? And they're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I was like,
See,
not
we're
really.
actually not friends.
We're not friends, Baka.
Anyways, and this is where Ren finally snaps. Funny how we had that. Yeah, funny how we had an entire argument about what's right and wrong, and then Ren's just like, "Hey, shut up. We're finding our friend."
I just noticed, like, Yang and Jean, like, look at each other after he does that. Like, did Ren just say that?
Yeah. And then Harriet jumps in, again making me question why she's an Aesop. She's basically smack-talking Ren and saying, like, feelings don't matter. Even though her leader said, her current leader said last volume that that's not the case. At least not to that extent. Like, obviously, like, feelings won't stop, like, their personal feelings won't stop them from doing what they think is right, but, like, they still have to acknowledge those feelings.
Yeah.
And then there's Harriet, who's just like, screw feelings.
Also, you know how Harriet mentioned just like how Mero replaced Tortuga and Winter replaced, that line?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So, big
So,
question. So that begs the question that's obviously going to get answered and is not just a random side fact. Who's Tortuga?
I can tell you who Tortuga is.
Oh.
If you've ever played not anime, Amity Arena, the mobile game, not the actual place.
Yeah.
One of Clover's cards in Amity Arena talks about how he had a friend who was a turtle faunus who was killed by Tyrion.
Oh.
So we don't know the exact name of this turtle faunus, but I'm guessing it's Tortuga.
And I saw someone on Tumblr bring this up. Tortuga is a translation for turtle.
Yeah. And
Yep.
do you want to know what Tyrion's based off of? The turtle and the scorpion. Is it the turtle and the scorpion, or is it the frog and the scorpion? I don't know if any of you have heard of that.
I've never
Wait.
heard of that.
You're talking about Tyrion.
Yeah, because like Tyrion's based on the scorpion in some story where it's like a scorpion's on, I think it's a turtle's back, and the scorpion like poisons the turtle and kills himself along with the turtle. And that's what Tyrion's apparently based off of.
Oh, so that's okay. So, harkening back to Volume 7 for a second, when Crow and Clover jump in to help Robin fight Tyrion, Clover's line like, "You're not the only one with a grudge." I was I was so confused as to what that was meant to imply.
Yeah. So this Tortuga guy was a former Aesop who Clover was friends with that was killed by Tyrion, just like how the turtle was killed by the scorpion in the fable that Tyrion is based off of.
Huh.
And you know another way you can link this? Harriet is based off of the hair in The Tortoise and the Hare.
Yeah.
And now we find out that there was a turtle faunus amongst the Aesops.
Yep.
So,
Okay then.
I don't know, maybe there was maybe there was some sort of connection between them two.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Also, I find it funny that Tyrion's now canonically killed 2 Aesops.
Oh god.
That just goes to show how competent the Aesops are.
Next volume, he gets the full sweep.
Anyways, yeah, you could also view this in a much more simpler fashion. One faunus replaced another.
Oh no, don't say that.
Don't say it like that.
Like, I
Yeah,
was using
well.
my cool obscure knowledge, and now you're just like one faunus replaced another.
Well, this is Atlas, so you know what can you do?
Well, they're talking of replacing. Ren's had enough of hearing this and says people aren't replaceable.
This is true, and he knows this. He has experience with this. I'm surprised they didn't bring this up, but yeah. I feel like this kind of... I'm surprised Jean didn't react in any way. This kind of... like, I feel like this kind of gives Ren... like, this kind of rubs Ren the wrong way because of Pyrrha. Super surprised, Jean... this is why I'm saying I'm surprised Jean didn't react in any way.
I'm kind of glad he didn't, to be honest, because
Yeah,
we
I
spend
think-
so much time focusing on how Pyrrha dying affect John. We don't really touch on how it's affected Nora or Ren much.
That's true.
Plus, Ren's having this like big moment. We don't want to like take that away from him.
No,
Yeah.
no, I know. I'm not saying I'm complaining. I'm just surprised.
Yeah, I get what you mean. But this
Yeah,
anger is enough
I
to
do
cause...
too. I'm just yeah.
And this anger
like-
is enough to cause Ren to unlock his Sharingan.
Wait, when have
So-
you dual Mangeku Sharingan?
I mean,
I only know what that is thanks to Death Battle, by the way.
I
Yeah.
mean, technically, because it's an upgrade from his previous abilities, but like the Sharingan base form is what lets you see chakra and like emotion, like, and kind of like emotions. But
Okay, see, on one hand, you can view it like
Oh,
that,
yeah,
but
fair enough.
I personally view this as he's become an empath.
yeah, that
Um,
as well.
So he
Yeah,
is
because
he's now Teen Titans Raven. There you go.
Yeah, he can see your emotions.
Yeah, and as it turns out, Harriet is lying to herself. 'Cause,
Yeah.
Because she misses Clover.
Sure does.
By the way, can I
Really
just throw...
showing it.
I've made this joke before, like, off camera, but I gotta say this now. Ren's now become the worst person to play Among Us with.
Yeah. He really
Like, they're-
has.
Like, they're playing Among Us, the first body's found, and before anyone says anything, Ren's just like, they're the imposter. I know it's them. Like, throw their ass out. They get ejected, the crewmates win.
Yeah.
But if Ren's the imposter, everyone will pick up on that and just be like, wait, Ren hasn't sussed out who the imposter is immediately.
This
Eject
also
him,
essentially-
game over.
This also essentially gives him a better version of Robin's semblance.
Yeah, that's true.
Because
Yeah.
he doesn't need to like touch people to know if they're lying. He can just read their emotions and figure out, oh, okay, this is conflicting. So, you're lying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I like Harriet's response, like, you don't know anything about me, and I'm just like, he can see what you're thinking, so
Through rose petals.
kind of does. Yeah, of course it's rose petals.
I wonder
What else
why.
was it gonna be?
True. I wonder why we don't see what Yang or John's rose petal emotion things look like.
I think it might be a focused thing. Like
Yeah,
maybe,
it is. He's only focusing on the Aesops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, if you notice, the people he's focusing on are in full color, but everything else is black and white.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing this now.
Yeah.
And he even looks at himself, and he's got pink petals.
Yeah.
Also, I like how Vine's just got like green petals because he's constantly in like a state of zen.
Anyways, yeah, and then he pretty much confirms what we were all thinking as to why the Aesops lost to Team RWBY. They just don't work together very well.
Because friendship, yo.
Friendship,
Because they
yo.
don't. They're too scared to make friends, so they'll never work together.
And then Elm is just like, all right, I'm gonna punch you now.
Yeah, and then, which is really stupid. Like, way to prove him right by saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're too scared to make genuine connections," and you show him that you're wrong by lashing out and assaulting him while he's completely defenseless with no weapon out.
Yeah. Actually, that's a point. Actually, where are their weapons?
In storage.
Uh,
I assume just, like, on the floor or something, like, in a corner.
Oh, maybe. Anyways,
Also,
Winter.
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say Winter chimes in, is like, and okay, you guys need to calm down now. And she's like, all right, you guys can go. Much to Harriet's complete disbelief. It's like,
I love what Winter says to her, though.
I know.
yeah.
Just, I outrank you.
See,
Like,
I view
nothing else, just that look with that line. That's all you need. I love you, Winter, for that.
She
See,
just
shout
looks so done with the Aesop shit. She's just like, fuck
Oh,
you,
she
I'm
definitely
in
is.
charge.
Shout out
I
to
love it.
Shout out to a comment I saw on YouTube. Where he's like, so she said this, but I view this as but I heard know your place, trash. But yeah, Harriet's just like, they're fugitives and traitors. Like, they didn't really betray anybody, but okay.
And even if they were, why do you care? They're going on a suicide mission for you.
Yeah. Yeah, they're helping you right now, so like they're trying to help right now, and like for the first time since they fought, they're trying to help the Aesops, and Harry's just like, no, stupid, stop.
Stop helping us for some reason.
Yeah. Then Harry's just like, fine.
And Winter's all, but if you're not out of the way in time, we're deploying the bomb anyway.
Yeah, that is some next level of foreshadowing that I do not appreciate.
I do have a thought on that, and I don't think it's what you think it is.
No, it's probably not. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna get into my theory on it just yet. But I will say I seriously doubt that this would have been brought up if it wasn't gonna come into play later. I seriously doubt it's just gonna be like, okay, let's look around. There's Oscar, pick him up, leave. Okay, you can drop the nuke now.
Yeah. 'Cause, like, they're gonna need to somehow manage to sneak past Salem, the Hound. No, not the Hound. The Hound and Cinder are gone.
Yeah.
So they need to get past Neo, Salem, and Emerald and Hazel to get to Oscar.
Yes.
I mean, depending on when Hazel and Emerald ask the question, they might even like offer a hand.
I mean, that's also true. That's possible, but that still leaves Neo and Salem.
Or what if Neo's just thinking to herself, everyone here doesn't really treat me very well, and I kind of hate Cinder, so screw her.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but like, even if all of them teamed up, they couldn't take down Salem.
Oh, but they don't have to take down Salem, they just have to get Oscar and leave.
That still requires them to sneak by Salem.
Could you just imagine, like, Ren walks up to Salem and, like, interrogates her based on her emotions, like he did to the Aesop?
I've seen a comic on that.
Yeah, he said that to me. I really want to see that.
I don't think I have the link to it anymore, though. That's the problem.
I'll find it somehow. But I just love it. Ren is just, like, completely just destroying Salem by, like, reading her emotions and being, like, completely, like, trashing her character. That would be amazing.
You want to hear what the comic I found was?
What was it?
It was basically, he looks at Emerald and it's just like, okay, massive mother issues. He looks at Hazel. So much anger management problems.
This is true.
And then looks at Salem and it's just like, damn, girl. Like, where do I even start? Like, wow.
Probably at the beginning. Yeah. So, mate, you said you had an idea. Do we want to get into that now, or do we want to get into that later?
You know, I might as well get into that now, because, like, it's something I've thought about since this volume, well, before this volume even began.
Okay.
And, oh boy. So, Erin Zek mentioned that she had to record a lot of screaming and even get emotional in certain points. What if Ruby, Weiss, and Blake find out about this and they actually witness the bomb going off, but they don't know if everyone got out?
Oh, that's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's probably the case. Yeah, I can see
actually,
that.
I've seen some fan art of that, and all I had to say was, ow, my heart.
Yeah, that is not the idea I was expecting you to have, but yeah, that's possible.
Yeah.
See,
and I'm also going to throw this out there. Thanks to Ren getting this boost, I don't think he's going to die.
I'm still a bit iffy.
Yeah, I don't know.
The intro, right? You see those petals falling down that Nora fails to catch? We didn't know what those petals were before, but we now know that's what Ren looks like in his, like, emotion vision. So it's like Nora's reaching out to grab Ren, but she can't because he's, you know,
yeah,
dead. I don't know, that might be like a bait and switch. Like, we're supposed to think that's what's going to happen, and then, like, he doesn't die. And I don't want him to die. Like,
absolutely not.
I know for the past, like, 5 podcasts, I keep on mentioning that I think Ren's going to die. But it's not because I'm like, I hate Ren. I want him dead. It's like, I just think of everyone, he's the most likely to die, but I don't want him to.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the same way. I so hope this isn't the case. Like, And if this isn't the
Yeah.
case, I will be so happy. But
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I
because
just
what I'm thinking of is we finally see a semblance evolve. Like this is the first time it's happened in the series, at least that we can account.
yeah,
Why give him that just to kill him?
I don't know.
That's fair.
That is fair. I'm kind of 50-50 on that, but
Yeah. I just feel
Um,
like out of everyone going into the whale, he's the only one I could really see them kill off.
yeah, they wouldn't
Unless
just.
it's like, unless it's like I don't know, maybe like Hazel's sacrificing himself so that the others can get out.
I
maybe.
mean, maybe.
Like Salem tries to stop the kids, and he's like, "You know what? Screw everything." Just goes berserk, and just like attacks her so everyone else can leave. And he just goes down fighting like an absolute badass.
That would redeem him in my eyes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But no, it just like I wouldn't be surprised one way or the other, but I just don't see how they could have that line from Winter and have it amount to pretty much nothing. Like, okay, so here's the sitch. Okay, you're gonna go into the whale, you're gonna find your friend, and you're gonna get out. But if you don't get out in time, we're gonna nuke you anyway.
Yeah, that's like a Chekhov's gun. You can't like have no payoff with that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, they could probably maybe escape, like at like before, like just as it's about to go off. That could make sense. Like they drop
Oh,
it off
maybe.
and then they escape at the last second.
They still have to outrun the nuke though. Like,
Or they could just tank it.
yeah, I don't see that.
You can maybe have like a I can't remember what X-Men movie it is, but like when Wolverine shields that guy from like the nuclear explosion. I don't know if any of you seen the X-Men movies.
Wasn't that in
Uh,
like the Wolverine movie?
Yeah, the Wolverine movie. I can't remember which one.
Okay,
it's the
yeah.
one with the silver samurai.
Yeah, it's
that-
the
that's
second one.
that's the
Yeah,
Wolverine.
the second one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, but
I've seen the Cinema Wins video on it.
Yes, you know that scene where it's like he shields the guy from the explosion?
Yeah.
Yang could maybe do that and like absorb it with her semblance. That could be cool.
And then she gets strong enough to yeet the whale into orbit.
Or like punch Salem and she explodes and they like run away as she's regenerating.
I feel like that would like completely like wreck her aura though.
True.
Which I mean, yeah, on one hand, sure, like that means everyone walks away and doesn't die, and they're not gonna kill Yang. Like that's
Yeah.
Hell no, and that's also why I'm not too concerned about the Blake thing I mentioned.
yeah, no,
That ends
I'm
up being the case. I mean, it'll be a heart-wrenching scene, don't get me wrong.
oh for
but-
sure, but like, like I'm concerned, but I'm not worried.
Yeah.
Like I'm concerned that Yang's gonna get seriously injured, seriously hurt in some way. Like maybe she's like Nora. Maybe she turns out like Nora did. But she's not like they're not gonna kill her. That's just not happening.
They're not going to kill off one of the title characters.
Yeah, because otherwise, then like, okay, so now it's called like now the show's called RWBY, except one of them's dead.
So I guess RWBY.
Yeah, pretty
RWBY.
much.
Could you imagine they actually kill off one of the members so they change the title of the show?
Hey, you guys remember that Naruto episode when Naruto died and they made Sasuke the protagonist?
Yeah, They just call the show Sasuke now. That makes sense.
Whatever shows are there where the main character is the title? Or where they killed off Akame and Akame got killed, and Leone became the main character.
Leone no kill.
I'm trying to think of other animes where that's the case.
Anyways,
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
well, to be
The
fair,
protagonist becomes Dio.
like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is like has like 8 main characters, and a few of them are dead.
Well, yeah, but like, there's always another JoJo alive at that point.
True. Still. Anyways. So yeah, they're not gonna kill Yang. I don't think like I'm not. I don't think Jean is completely null and void to death, but I don't think this is the moment yet. I think he's gonna be sticking around for much longer. They're not just gonna kill Oscar like.
If they do, I swear to God. Like
I really don't see that happening.
I'm gonna feel so bad for Oscar fans.
I like after everything that's happened to him these past like 3 volumes, they just kill him off midway in volume 8. I'd be so mad at that.
After he's been tortured for how long?
I know,
Well, not
right?
only-
And then they just end it by killing him in the middle of the whale. I would
not only-
hate that so much.
Well, not only that, but like
Oh, wait, we didn't even consider. He has Ozpin's magic. What if he just uses that barrier again and protects everybody?
Would that barrier be able to stop a nuke, though?
I don't know, maybe.
Could you could you use magic to like teleport? He could like teleport everyone out the Grim and away from the explosion.
maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe we'll get like a fake out moment. Like we spent like an episode ends with the nuke, and we don't see what happens to Team Joyride.
No,
We
the
just
episode ends with just like Ruby, Weiss, and Blake's reaction to it.
Yeah.
So
we're
they
just
know
left-
like their friends and Yang especially are dead.
Yeah, and we're just left to.
Then again,
we're-
they don't know that they're on the nuke though. Not
yeah.
on the nuke, on the whale.
Oh, they'll find out. I'm pretty sure they're gonna find out.
Like who knows? Maybe Weiss will call Winter.
Oh, could you imagine they're trying to stealth in the whale, and then Yang's like scroll goes off because Blake's phoning her, and that's how they get caught.
Well, to be fair, they are. I think they are out of comms reach at this point.
Well, they're both on Atlas.
I know, but like it might still be like far away enough for. I don't know, connection issues. I don't know. Either way, so yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get like a big cliffhanger moment, like maybe like we're left to like speculation on whether or not any of them survived. Like obviously we know they're going to, but like we'll know at that point. Like they'll be fine, but we just don't. We're not like it's not shown to us at that moment. Like I don't know, maybe if Yang's name, maybe if the first letter of Yang's name wasn't in the title, it could have some interesting discussion on whether or not they're actually alive. But still, yeah, if any one of them are going to get caught and left behind, it's Ren, and I hate saying that. But,
Yeah. It feels so bad to say it, but like out of everyone, he's the only one that could possibly get left behind or get killed in this situation.
yeah,
At least on the good guy's side.
I'm gonna
like-
remain optimistic.
Well,
no, I am too. But like, I'm just thinking like realistically.
yeah, because like Yang's one of the main characters. Jean, I just don't see it yet. And
Oscar's
Oscar,
borderline a main character at this point.
well, not only that, but Oscar's story is like far from complete.
And if they kill him, I am honestly, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. Like he died here, I'd be so mad.
Okay. Anyways, let's keep going.
Yeah, we've got like one more scene and then, well, more or less one more scene.
Yeah. Okay. So Ren talks to Mero. Ren knows that Mero doesn't want to do this either. And in fact, doesn't really want to be a part of it anymore. And Mero doesn't deny it, but he moves on and is like, "All right, I still have a job to do." Oh, by the way, the three have been released from captivity, so like they don't have their cuffs on anymore.
I think
Yeah.
this is kind of what like Yang was saying to Ren earlier. Like Mero doesn't want to do this, but he knows he has to because it's he can make a difference.
Yeah.
Although Ren also says that to Winter.
Yeah, she just has like every single emotion that the Aesops are feeling at once. Which is funny, but okay. And once again, doesn't deny it. And then we cut back to Schnee Manor. And Ruby asked the question that I think should have been asked a while ago. What about Crow and Robin?
Yeah, this is the first time they've mentioned them in a while.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
just
like-
kind of felt like did people just
Chapter 1 was the last time they mentioned Crow and Robin. And that was Oscar asking, where's Crow?
Well, Harriet does mention like where Crow is, so but they don't go anywhere after that. But yeah, it just kind of feels like not only the characters in this, but like people speculating what will happen. Like, did everybody just forget that Crow and Robin are still imprisoned? Because it kind of feels like they have. It's like, get them out, and maybe they can either help, or they can either help with the invasion, or help get us out of here. And then May's like, no, stop, no friendship. This is not a situation where everyone wins. I mean, that's true,
You have
but
to choose a side.
yeah,
Even though you should be trying to help everyone and working
Yeah.
together, but no, choose sides.
My heart breaks because Blake's ears like fall down and she looks sad.
I'm seeing
Yeah.
the freeze frame of that now. Sorry, freeze frame.
oh my gosh, they're drooped down so low. That's the lowest I've ever seen them go down.
I say this a lot, but I love how freaking expressive her ears are.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So May's like, okay, once again, pick a side, and I'm just like, girl, there is no side. It's us or Salem.
Yeah.
Like, this is exactly what Salem wants. Remnant to be divided, and it's working. It is so working, and
Yeah.
that's
And it's not even like it's one person that's like, no working together. Both sides are like, no working together.
yeah.
But
It's
then
just
that's
like,
going to have to be put on hold because there's a knock at the door.
yeah, that's not concerning. And everyone just walks up to the door like super, like,
Oh
cautiously.
no! Before
which-
even that, Ruby and Blake like ready their weapons.
well, yeah. What were they supposed to expect?
I mean, White has like her hand on Mirtanasta. Like,
Yeah,
just in
she's-
case.
she is getting ready, but Ruby and Blake are already ready. So, I think May has hers out too. I didn't notice it.
She's like raised slightly, I think.
Okay. So normally you think, like, I totally see how everyone could be so cautious about this, because normally you'd think in a time like this, like, someone knocks at the door, that's a problem. It could be
I just
someone
want to
trying
throw
to...
out in my reaction before it was even shown or said. I called it.
I will believe it when I see it. Because obviously it's not out yet, but
What reason would I have to lie?
I know. I'm just gonna wait. I'm not saying I don't believe. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm just saying I'll
he
wait
doesn't
and
trust
see.
his friends. You've heard it here, folks.
Anyways, it's Klein.
You guys don't think I'm sus, do you?
We've been playing too much Among Us. That's why.
Yeah, we really have.
Anyways, it's Klein.
Yay!
I was so excited when I saw Klein.
You want to know what I find funny? And I just realized this now. The first 2 episodes we had when we started talking about this volume, we had this like big speculation, like maybe Klein will come back at some point, and then the second episode comes out, and then the second episode comes out, and we're like, well, never mind.
We still don't have his pickaxe weapon that me and Mate came up with for him, but
Yeah.
I'm hopeful.
There's still time. You never know what you
There's still
might have
time.
in that bag.
Yeah, but if he does have a pickaxe weapon, I will be so proud of us for calling that.
Yeah. But yeah, like we just had this big thing. Like we just kind of were like, well, it's not Klein. Whoops. And then and now here he is.
I love how May is just confused, and so is Ruby, but then she looks over to May and has like a little smirk.
Yeah, because like they have no idea who this guy is.
Ruby switches from like confused to smiling like, a couple times during that.
Yeah, because she's looking at Weiss and she's happy. So
Yeah.
I also love how expressive his eyes are still,
yeah,
and like his face.
Well, I mean, they change depending on what dwarf personality he's in.
yeah. And I like how he sees now, like he, I don't know, like obviously he probably saw it before, but he like fully acknowledges like the terrible man that is Jacques Schnee.
As he should.
Yeah. Anyways, as they're walking in, and everyone puts their weapons away because Weiss is happy. Weiss asks the important question, like, "How did you know to come here?" How did you?
And that's answered by, well, Klein seeing Whitley.
Yes.
Yeah, Whitley called him here. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not see that coming.
Nor did I, honestly, but I'm
neither
so
did I.
happy it happened.
I'm really glad, because, like, for so long, like, I know we talked about this last podcast. We were talking about, you know, the Whitley redemption and how we
Yeah.
weren't expecting it for a while, but I really think this is good first steps
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah,
to,
like I don't think Whitley.
reconnecting their bond and everything.
Yeah, like I think Whitley still has a bit to go. Like they still have a relationship to rekindle, of course. But
Oh yeah, it's not entirely fixed, but I think this is like a good start, and it shows that he cares, and he's not
Yeah.
just a mini jock like everyone assumes he has been for like the entirety of the show. Like even May in this like episode was saying, "Oh, you know, my family is Henry. You have Whitley," basically assuming that Whitley's like a complete jerk, 100%. When he's showing that he's, you know, he does have a heart, he does care, and he is
Yeah.
a good person. He's just been in a horrible environment.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, this is definitely a start.
By the way, I
And for
love
the-
how... Like,
Oh, sorry. you go ahead. I just finished speaking. You go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, I love how during this, Whitley's saying where Nora is. Like, oh, she's in Weiss's room, just head upstairs. And he just interrupts him. I haven't been gone that long, Whitley.
Yeah, and
Really, Whitley? You gotta give directions to this guy.
yeah, like
It's
he's
also
been
good because now we don't have the 14-year-old child being abandoned in his home alone.
yeah, and it's also like, you know, like, Klein's been the Schnee butler for who knows how long, and he gets laid off. Assuming he got laid off like immediately after Volume 4, that's still like what, a few weeks.
I think a few months because they aged up a year from Volume 7 and
Oh,
8.
that's true. Okay, yeah,
It's like a couple of months.
I think Lindsay confirmed at some point that Ruby, at least when they're in Atlas, is 17.
okay, cool,
So 2 years have passed since the fall of Beacon.
cool. So yeah, like he hasn't really been gone for that long.
Yeah, but anyway, Whitley's trying to say that, well, he didn't do it for Weiss. He just did it because, like, Nora needs help.
Yeah,
And Weiss is all, yeah, that's why it means so much to me, you big dork.
It's also really sad as well because when Weiss goes up to hug Whitley, he kind of flinches, like he's
Yeah.
expecting to be hit or something like that, and then he like relaxes when she hugs him.
By the way, I just want to point out, Blake and Ruby are smiling at this too.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think
In the
that
background.
whole detail with him like whimpering and then like relaxing when it's like positive affection is like a really good, like subtle way of like communicating.
I like how Ruby and Blake are smiling, and then May's just like, really?
He's like, "Wait, your brother isn't the same as my brother? That's impossible."
Oh, by the way, Aiden, what you said about Whitley's reaction upon being hugged. because of expecting to get hit or abused and whatnot.
Yeah.
Go back through the series. Blake has a similar reaction.
Yeah. So that's like
Yeah.
once again another example of conveying, what can happen when you've suffered through abuse. Like you expect any sort of like physical reaction to be negative, and then how big a positive thing like getting a hug can really impact on someone.
Yeah, like in Volume 2 when her and Yang have that talk. And Yang hugs her, telling her, "I'm not telling you to stop" and whatnot. And in Volume 4 when she sees her mother for the first time in how long?
In years.
Like it's the exact same reaction that Whitley has.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's it probably is intentional to like convey the abuse thing. I don't know if it was intentional to have the same reaction, because I know it's probably not going to happen, but I would find it interesting if Blake had a conversation with Whitley about the fact that they've both gone through similar kinds of abuse.
I mean, that's one idea.
Yeah. Anyways, to wrap things up, we hear an explosion outside. That's always a good sign.
So it's really small detail. I don't mean to talk about Whitley again, but like
I think
you
I
can
was
see
gonna-
when the,
I think I was going
Yeah.
to bring up the same thing.
like when the explosion happens from outside, you can see like Weiss pull Whitley close to like protect him, and that was really sweet.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm gonna look for myself. Oh yeah, a little bit.
But I love Weiss's line. Did you call anyone else?
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah. A detail I noticed, like, everyone is so surprised and wondering what's going on, and then there's Blake who's like, trying to like guard everybody or something.
Could you just imagine if Whitley responded like, "Oh yeah, I called the Atlas military as well."
Anyways, Ruby goes outside, and it's a giant wall of smoke and a crater.
By the way, shout out to my reaction again. I also called what this was.
They look inside, and it's Penny, and she's seen better days.
Do you think we could get like a durability feat calc for this because of the hole and like the height she was falling?
Maybe, but I don't think it'll amount to anything big.
Thing is, though, like we've seen in previous death battles, falls from orbit aren't as impressive as you might think they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I'd just be interested to see like what the numbers would be.
Oh yeah, fair
There's
enough.
a pretty big hole.
True enough.
Yeah, I mean, the only one that got like big numbers, and even then it wasn't like when you compare like newtons to joules and whatever, like it wasn't actually that big, was Jack, Samurai Jack, and that's they use newtons, or they use force, not TNT, but okay.
Also, Jack was propelled by an explosion in space.
Yeah, and he was wearing a heavy spacesuit on top of that, so so that's really it.
Also, I was just thinking of Jin in Tekken when he fell from orbit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that too.
So no, I don't think it. Like, I mean, it might be something cool, but nothing crazy.
It was more just like interest rather than like, oh yeah, this will be like an amazing like durability feat.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
fair. And that's the episode. Before we get into anything else, I just want to shout out to the credits and the starring the voices, because background. I'd never done this before, but it just caught my attention when I was watching this episode. Some background characters. Billy, voice of Ringmaster. Caden, voice of May, and Zach, of all people. I know Zach's done voice work before, but I did not see this coming. So that's cool. And yeah, that's the episode. That's what we're left up. That's what we're left off on for 2 months. Yay.
I just had a thought on what they could do. Like
that?
the scientist team that's developing that bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the only one that's really hoping that Ben Singer is the voice of one of the scientists?
Oh, that's so cool.
That'd be cool.
And he's got like a dumb assistant who's voiced by Chad.
Who has a shotgun for a leg?
Yes.
I think it'd be better if they kept it to just Wiz, because
Yeah, probably.
because not only because like Boomstick in a lab is weird, but also
Also, that'd be more of a subtle cameo.
yeah,
True.
and Boomstick kind of sort of already makes an appearance in Red vs. Blue.
Okay, so we need Dummy to appear in Camp Camp.
I guess. So I don't know. Have Boomstick be in Red vs. Blue and Wiz be in RWBY.
But wait, which universe does Ringmaster live in? You know, let's have him live in the Genlock universe.
Yeah, why not?
I was gonna say Nomad to Nowhere, but Genlock works better.
You know, I thought of a way you could have Dummy in Camp Camp. Like maybe Nikki and Max are just kicking a ball, and you just hear "ow, ow, ow" upon each kick.
That'd be
Or
funny.
like Neo builds a robot and it's just Dummy.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time he made artificial intelligence.
That's true.
Out of graphing calculators, of all things.
Okay.
That's not even a joke.
I'm going to choose to believe you.
That's the truth.
I will take your word for it. Anyways, yeah, that's the episode, and that's the cliffhanger we're left up on until like this show comes back in February. Yay! I will.
How will we cope?
I will say, just for a little side note, this was not this was not written with the hiatus in mind. So if anyone's wondering like why this was what we were left up on, I don't see anyone wondering about that, but that's why. It just happened to work out that way.
Yeah, they like stated it on Twitter as well. It was never intended to be the like mid-season finale sort of thing.
Also, Eddie, one of the writers, had a very interesting thing to say.
Yeah.
This first half, we've had some interesting developments.
That's an understatement.
Eddie said, and I quote, "This is the tame half."
Yeah, that's not that's not concerning at all.
Well, that's ominous.
That's an understatement. Again. Yeah. Thanks, Eddie.
I'm scared.
As if I didn't need any more anxiety. This is why I both love and hate the people at Rooster Teeth, because like on one hand they're great people and they're funny and all that stuff, but on the other hand they just love to play with everybody's emotions and I hate it so much.
You know what? They even sometimes hate themselves. Because, okay, so when they were writing Red vs. Blue seasons 11 through 13,
Oh yeah.
when season 11 came out, and by the way, this is a spoiler for anyone who hasn't seen those seasons, just thrown out there.
Yeah. By the way, the episode
characters called Felix and Locus.
Yeah. Before you get into that, I just want to say like the episode talk on this is over. So
More or less, we're just talking about speculation stuff.
yeah, but like if you don't want to get spoiled on anything else, like chances are you could pretty much leave now.
Yeah.
Anyways, just wanted to throw that out there.
So yeah, these guys, Felix and Locus. One of them is voiced by Miles, who is the writer of those seasons.
Yeah.
And he had so many people say like, "Oh my god, Felix is like one of my new favorite characters. I love this guy so much." And he felt like such an asshole.
Yeah.
Because in season 12, it's revealed that he's actually one of the biggest douchebags ever.
Yeah.
Like,
another
oh my god.
another
No,
example
and there's
is
even a worse example. At RTX for I think it was for when they were about to premiere Volume 2.
uh-huh.
Miles had a fan come up to him with a daughter.
Uh-oh.
It's this
Oh,
little girl who says to him, "My favorite character is Penny."
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
You know what? All that could come out of him was mine too. And he just has this really sweet moment with this little girl, knowing what's gonna happen.
Oh, that must suck so much.
Yeah.
So an example that came to my mind is you guys know Arnold, Murder of Birds?
Yeah.
So he did a reaction to going back to the Penny example. The episode where Penny, dies. And then Rooster Teeth, a few crew members who worked on that episode, including Miles, reacted to his reaction. And when it got to Penny's death, everyone there was just like, "Arnold, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." That was great. I mean, it's depressing, but it's great. Yeah.
Right.
Also, we talk about how the people at Rooster Teeth love to play with everybody. I think Aaron Zek is a massive example of that too.
Yeah.
Well, let's be
Yeah,
fair,
she
she
is.
teases a particular crowd,
Well, yeah.
which I am in.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because it's not technically confirmed yet. Like for all intents and purposes, it's not that side of the fandom hasn't had their thing confirmed yet.
Well, I mean, okay, it's confirmed / not confirmed. Like, it's confirmed in the sense that we're talking about Blake and Yang, like possibly
Yeah,
being
yeah.
a couple, by the way.
Yeah.
It's confirmed in the sense that they like each other,
Yeah.
but not in the sense that they're actually together.
Yeah. And I just find it funny that Aaron is like teasing that side of the fandom, and they're like, we haven't had our thing yet." Why are you
no, she's
teasing us
been-
about this?
She's been hardcore into that since like day one.
Oh, I know.
Like, I don't know if you guys know about this, but they had this stream before the first episode even came out, just talking about the show. Like, Aaron, Barbara, Kerry, Miles, and even Monty were on it.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron didn't know the stream had started at this point, and she just randomly asked Miles if it's okay if she says that her character and another character are lesbian lovers, and Miles just immediately goes, "No, absolutely not."
Whoops. Yeah, that'll do it. But yeah. So, okay, I think this further cements the idea that I see no way that Atlas is getting out of this.
Nah.
Like they're doomed.
Well, so after we saved Mistral,
Yeah.
then it makes sense that we would lose a kingdom eventually. So Atlas is going to fall, but I think we're ultimately going to save Vacuo,
Probably, yeah.
at least to some extent.
Yeah.
How badly of a fall do you think it's gonna be? Like fall of beacon level, or like way worse?
Probably
I'm
worse.
gonna- Yeah, probably worse.
Because like Atlas is like the top, like one of the top kingdoms. Now, sure, the people of Atlas are complete and total sleazebags, but
But they still have the military.
they still have the military. They still have like the best dust supplies. Like basically, Remnant gets by mostly due to Atlas. So if that falls, and it's going to fall, yeah, that doesn't look too great for the world. So yeah, that's fun. So yeah, so that's yeah. I don't know I don't know where I can go with that.
I think that's everything.
I think so.
I mean, I think I've said most of what I could say for like what I speculate to happen soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
So I guess that's it.
Yeah, and I guess we just wait until February.
Yay.
I mean, the only thing I really have to like help me cope is Death Battle. Like just
Yeah.
the season finale, and if they tease characters for the next season.
Yeah. I mean, like, I get why the hiatus this time is so big, but
Oh yeah, I don't hold anything against Rooster Teeth for the hiatus.
Yeah,
No,
and
this
think
is
about
just
it logically. Like, would you rather have a like okay ending to this volume, or have a much better one because the animators and everyone had more time to perfect everything?
yeah. Plus with
Exactly.
the whole work from home thing,
Yeah,
that definitely plays a factor. Now it's just more of a personal thing. Like, hey, I want more Ruby. Like that's just kind of a given. And secondly, like we're left on such this like dark times. Like, where can this go? How can things get better? I mean, I think the answer is pretty simple. It doesn't. Like, it's just gonna get worse.
it worked.
I mean, depending on what you're hoping for out of certain characters, maybe if certain things happen, then it'll get better that way.
Yeah, maybe.
But in the grand scheme of like the world, yeah, no.
Yeah. A kingdom's going to fall. People are going to die. That's obviously no fun. And yeah, let's hope the world can patch that up. I don't know how, but
I imagine they will. Like, we're gonna have some kind of epilogue after Salem's defeated. Like, the world's gonna be like great again. Everyone's gonna be like, well, maybe not everyone, but like living in peace and whatnot. At least I hope we get some kind of epilogue.
yeah.
I'm sure we'll get like a Naruto thing where it's like maybe like an episode where we see the future and like the ending to all the characters and everything.
Yeah, because I have to admit that's something that kind of annoyed me with the She-Ra reboot.
Yeah, just kind
Like,
of it just kind of ends, doesn't it?
yeah, the villain is defeated, and we spend like 2 minutes of screen time with everybody afterwards.
Yeah.
That's it. I would have loved to see more of the world, like how it was after that villain was defeated.
Yeah,
You know, I'll just say Horde Prime.
Yeah.
And I don't know, get like more of a sense of where all the characters ended up.
Yeah, what like the lasting effects were.
Yeah.
Because it's not just
Kind
going
of
to be.
compare it to like the endings of Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Like,
Yeah, that's
Harry
good.
Potter, Voldemort's defeated, and then it just cuts to 19 years later. You get no sense of what happened to anybody.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
just like suddenly Harry has kids and now they're off to Hogwarts.
Yeah. But whereas with Return of the King, like, yeah, it has like a lot of fake out endings, and it does spend a long time telling you what happens to the characters, but epilogues are kind of important when you spend so long with these characters. Like, you want to see how they like react to their own accomplishments and how they deal with life now that it's better.
Yeah. And obviously, no one's asking for like an entire like volume or like 3 or 4 episodes of just the future. But
No.
But just a little something would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or even something like an Avatar.
Yeah. My hope is that they don't go like the Boruto route and just have like a sequel series because, yeah, sure.
I wouldn't mind a sequel series as long as it's good.
We have a sequel series called Sapphire. It's about like Ruby's son or something like that.
Now, let's be real. If Ruby has a kid, it's gonna be a girl, and she's gonna name her Summer.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
I mean, I'd rather have a sequel series if it makes sense to have a sequel series. Like that's why I think shows like Boruto and Korra are just so unnecessary. Like now, whether or not those shows are any good, I can't comment on. But
But like with the way that the previous show ended, it's like everything's fine now.
yeah, like you don't need a sequel show. They just kind of have it because reasons.
I mean, I can understand Korra's a bit more because it's set place like at, oh, actually, I don't know. Do you mind like minor spoilers or like
Minor.
Korra?
I don't care.
Okay, the whole thing with Korra is like Aang's dead because she's the new Avatar.
Yeah.
And like,
Well, freaking duh.
well, yeah, but like a long period of time has happened, so it makes sense that there's like new threats and like big stuff happening in the world. But like with Boruto, it's like 10, 15 years after Naruto ended, and like their world's still at peace. And like most of it's just like a slice of life until they actually decide to like add any actual threats into the story.
Mm.
You know, I thought about this. Like, for a RWBY sequel series, like, I don't know, maybe they go out a little different than RWBY did, but we just get to like see a bit more of the kingdoms that than we did in the actual show. I don't know, maybe like the protagonist in this case also attend a beacon, but we see more so on the side of their graduation, because we never actually got to see what a graduation ceremony from one of the academies is like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Like
we didn't
that-
even get any of that in the books.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Maybe they'll go the RVB 0 route and just have it focus on different characters.
That could be cool.
Although I still want a Team Stark prequel series.
Yeah, I do too.
I've even thought of like a way to end that, and you know I'm gonna say it on here because I think it's a really good ending.
Okay.
So like the last few episodes are set around like I want to say when Raven and Tai have Yang, and so like it's set around. So Raven leaves, and we get to see like a bit of Summer and Tai,
Yeah.
and you know those two together. We even get tiny child RWBY. Like we get to see them as a family, but then it cuts to them free at Summer's grave,
Oh,
specifically during fall. That's important. And the camera pans up, and we see some fall leaves, and maybe even some birds in the style of Monty's signature as like a little tribute, just like they did in Volume 3. But then the season changes, and instead of fall leaves, it's snow. The camera pans back down, and we see RWBY just like she is in the Red trailer.
oh, that
that'd be
would be
cool.
cool.
So the prequel ends right where the series began.
I was kind of thinking you were gonna go in a way where it's like we see Summer like fighting like an army of like Grimm before she dies in like homage to the Red trailer. Except to like
Maybe.
ends with Summer, you know, being like killed or whatever happens to Summer. We don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even if we find out on the actual show, we won't need to see it in the prequel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, we'll already know what it is.
Yep. Okay. I think that's everything we need to discuss. This thing kind of ended like twice now, so um,
We'll
Yeah.
fix anything.
Yeah, we're just talking about anything to try and cope with the fact we're not going to get any new RWBY episodes for over a month.
yeah.
We won't really get any of these podcasts out about RWBY unless BrobusCast decides to read the books over the next few months until RWBY comes back.
Wait, I thought the plan was we just tell him the story of the books
Yeah, that's
so we
better.
get his reaction.
I like that.
Oh, we
No,
can still do that, yeah.
No, I like that idea better.
Because you don't have to do as much work.
And because I don't have to read books. That's kind of that's a big one. Also just think it'd be funny. Yeah, I don't know if we'll. I do want to do that, but I don't know if we'll do that like during this wait or like after the volume's over.
I'll just say there's a particular scene with Velvet and Yatsuhashi that I'm looking forward to talking about.
Oh, I know the one you're talking about.
Okay. We'll decide on that. We have a month. So yeah. I think that's it. So see you guys next time. Bye
See
everybody.
you next time. We're probably just going to play Among Us.
Yeah, probably.